Good afternoon. My name is Donna Feazell, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television a couple different ways. Channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to talk about banks, like a big bank versus a small bank. What are the advantages of that? I'll have to tell you who I use. That's LibertyBankAlabama.com on Highway 75 in Geraldine, Alabama. They have other locations as well. You can give them a call at 256-659-2175. I like a little bank. We're living in Charlotte and we had to deal with big ones. So now I'm down home and you can deal with this bank on loans. If you want to have a checking account or even a savings account, they can take care of all of that for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Why should you bank locally? The website I'm finding this information on is bankbound.com. That's bankbound.com. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, I'm already sold on the benefits of banking locally, and whether you like a community bank or a credit union, it's all up to you. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's talk about mega bank history first of all. Okay, these are the big ones, okay? The mega bank model first began to take shape in 1998 when Citicorp and Travelers Group merged to create the world's largest financial services company. Chase Manhattan followed suit 2 years later by acquiring J.P. Morgan. Now, the idea took off. One by one, the larger financial institutions scooped up smaller banking names. So by 2009, 4 mega banks had emerged to dominate the financial services industry. That's Citicorp, J.P. Morgan, Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. Now, these new mega banks leverage their size and full menu of financial services to take advantage of rising home prices and demand for mortgage bonds. When the housing bubble burst in 2008, the resulting financial crisis revealed all the unsavory details of how these mega banks were run and regulated. Since then, mega bank scandals have continued to appear in the news. Over the last 2 years, Wells Fargo has been accused of numerous wrongdoings, including creating fake accounts in their customers' names, charging customers for auto insurance they did not need, and modifying existing mortgages without their customers' consents. Now, banks are figuring out that bigger isn't necessarily better. Larger banks have new rules to follow and face more scrutiny from the regulators. Many mega banks are still paying off billions of dollars in fines for breaking regulations. Some, like Citigroup, are slowly dismantling as they adapt to heightened regulations. We're hearing about that stuff all in the news. It's no secret that mega banks went out of favor with the American public. All 4 of the top mega banks, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Chase, and Bank of America, routinely make the list of worst companies in America. Why wouldn't they? Constant scandal, high fees, and also fewer free accounts about mega banks. It's pretty unlikable. And not to mention customer service is pathetic. I was with one of these banks right here, and someone tried to steal my identity. We were living in Charlotte. Oh, that was a rough time of the year. It was right at Christmas time. I was as busy as I could be with my store and with my show and all this stuff going on. They treated me like I was the criminal, for goodness sakes. And every single time I call, I could never talk to the same person. Always had to start at the bottom and go all the way up to the top. Shouldn't your money go to a trustworthy institution with more accountability to its customers and community? Yes, it should. Banks like Liberty Bank are the ones you need to go to. Consumer benefit from banking locally. Let's talk about that for a few minutes. For most consumers, a local bank or credit union is the best banking choice. You may be wooed by the advertisements of the larger banks, but when it comes to keeping your money in your pocket, the smart choice is local banking. Community banks and credit unions benefit individuals in 7 important ways, and we're going to talk about those ways. Lower fees. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Local banks and credit unions offer more free accounts, and they also charge fewer fees, according to MoneyRates.com. 43% of small banks' checking accounts had no monthly maintenance fees. I know I don't, not with my Liberty Bank, compared to only 25% at large. Okay, let's go ahead and get a little bit more to somebody just tried to call. Okay, fewer fees, and compared to only 25% at large banks. Now, overdraft fees and ATM fees continue to rise in the mega bank world as well. JP Morgan, as well as Wells Fargo and Bank of America, have each reported making nearly $2 billion a year in overdraft charges. Looks like they could hire more employees to help with customer service, doesn't it? You'd think, wouldn't you? Personalized attention is not unusual for a customer to be offered a cookie or a cup of coffee. You're going to grab me with a coffee every time. Each of their customers as individuals, often greeting them by name. Isn't that awesome? And asking about their families and their lives. Local banks actually pride themselves on serving their neighbors and take the time to give customers the attention that they need. I know every time I walk into Liberty Bank, I see Nancy. I went to school with Nancy. And we'll kind of chum on just a little bit about how quiet I was in school. She was a beauty queen, all this kind of good stuff, you know. And so we'll talk for just a few minutes, and then I'll say, well, let's see, I got to get something, because when you're on your own business continuously, you're having to get something certified, or you're having to get some, like just stuff, that you have to do. And so it's so fun to be, she's personal, and she's always the first person, and she's been at the bank for like ever. Almost forever. It's just been a really long time. So it's always good to deal with Nancy. And it's that way when you go into a small bank and small atmosphere. If I'm having a problem, I can call the bank. Nancy answers the telephone very quickly. She gets me to the person I need to talk with. And no issues with that at all. So I like the personal service. I like not having to go through a high chain of command to get my whatever my problem is settled. And that's at Liberty Bank right there. Okay, lower fees, we talked about that. Personalized attention and full menu of services. So let's talk about that. Megabank advertising suggests they have the upper hand when it comes to choice, but that's just not true. Most community banks offer the same services and products as their competitors. I'm completely satisfied with my small bank, including online. I deal online every day. Mobile banking. Many local financial institutions also offer unique programs tailored to the needs of their local customer base. They're going to help our little local football team here. They always help with the Toys for Tots Foundation. They're always doing awesome things for the community. They feed people. They help with the uniforms sometimes with the baseball and football teams. Yeah, of course they're going to help. Higher quality service. Smaller banks tend to have less employee turnover than the larger ones, and they do. You're going to see the same people when you walk in. The only reason they lose folks here at this Liberty Bank is when they retire. Everybody's going to retire sometime. I may even do it someday. I don't know. But even folks who retire, it's the only way they're going to lose people. Employees at community banks form deeper relationships with their customers, leading to higher quality service and flexible decision making. It works. Okay, also let's talk about the higher ethical standards, and they definitely got that going on. By serving a smaller region, local banks are able to customize their services. Okay, and also their products that match the needs of their specific community. Now, when it comes to offering loans, community banks tend to look at the individual's character and personal qualifications rather than just entering a credit score into an application. Also, we get back into that higher ethical standards. As a member of the community, local banks and credit unions are held to a higher standard than the national chains. They know that the policies of their bank and the behavior of their employees has a direct effect on the local community. Unlike mega banks that use their assets to invest in national and international industries, most community banks invest in small local business. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about stability. That means a lot, doesn't it? Liberty Bank used to be called the Geraldine Bank many moons ago. I was a kid, and we'd come up here in the summertime and visit with my grandparents. We actually grew up in Oxford, Alabama. come up here to visit my grandparents, and it was kind of neat. You'd go to the bank with my papa. He'd have his paycheck. He was with the actually worked for the government, USDA, and so he'd go every Friday. It was always a big deal to go with him to the bank, and I just always noticed how friendly the people were. Just super accommodating, and then we would go get he'd say, "You want a cola and a candy bar?" So we'd stop at the little local store and get a cola and a candy bar. And it was just so unique. It was so personable. And I always had a good time. And also they would always remember my name, even though I was a little kid. So we'd go to the drive-thru or actually walk inside the bank. It was kind of neat. And somebody would say, "Donna, what grade are you in now? Are you still going to Oxford High School?" Oxford Elementary. They would actually remember that. So even as a little kid growing up, I noticed that little small town where everybody knows your name. Absolutely. And that's Liberty Bank. So let's go ahead and talk. The last one actually that has to do with individuals, and that's us. And then we're going to get into why you should have a business with local banking. Stability. Let's talk stability. The banking world is rife with mega bank scandal and fallout effects that it really affects consumers like us. In response to recent scandals and enormous legal bills, Wells Fargo is closing all its branches in 3 states. Community banks, on the other hand, are deeply rooted in the community, and they plan on staying. Many local banks and credit unions have served their areas since the late 1800s. They sure have. Okay, it's time for us to go into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in just a minute. We're going to be talking local small banks, and then we're going to be talking about the business benefits from banking locally.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for 2 or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio. We are your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. It's so good to be with you today. I'm so proud that you're watching the show, and I hope you're learning a lot about local banks. I love them. Won't do a national bank ever again, unless I just get stuck and I gotta do it. But I really love Liberty Bank. Check them out on the web, libertybankal.com. They're located on Highway 75 in Geraldine, Alabama. They also have more locations. You know, you can also find them in Albertville, several locations around our area. So check it out. If you would like to talk to Nancy at this bank right here, I went to school with Nancy. The telephone number is 256-659-2175. 256-659-2175. Check them out. If you'd like to send an email, maybe you have some questions, you'd like to have a loan, maybe a business loan, or you're thinking about buying a house or something like that, it's marketing@libertybankal.com. They'll take good care of you. Marketing@libertybankal.com. Let's dig in. Okay, we got some reasons that a business could actually benefit, okay, from using a local bank. If you're a small business looking for a bank, remember that local banks are small businesses just like you are, okay? Who better to understand what a small bank business needs to succeed? A community bank offers many advantages for small businesses. Local decision making. That is like way up there as far as I'm concerned. When I mentioned to you someone trying to take over my banking account, what happened was, it was around Christmas time, and so I always do online banking, and Liberty Bank does it as well. And so I got online and I saw where a $500 check had been written to Walmart. And so, and then I saw another $500 check to Best Buy. And so I asked Phil, I said, because we have separate banking accounts, that keeps me from doing something goofy like writing a check and not telling him about it or whatever, or using the debit card. And so he said, why? I said, did you buy me a Christmas present or something? Because that was, kind of a lot of money. And I said, did you buy me a Christmas present? And he said, what are you talking about? And I said, there's a $500 check that was written to Walmart and another $500 check that was written to Best Buy. He said, why would I use your bank account? I said, well, that's what I thought, but I just thought you might have accidentally picked up the wrong check. He didn't. I had to go through all these chains of command to get this thing straightened out. Somebody who worked at Duke Energy had taken a check from us when we paid our power bill. They wrote the routing number, they took my routing number and the account number, made up a name and address and everything, and Walmart and Best Buy accepted it. But anyway, I think they've got stricter rules now. But long story short, it took me a really long time to get that straightened out. It was a total mess, but it did get straightened out. But it took a long time to do it, going up the chain of command. So that's what I mean by local decision making. I'll walk in and I want to get something notarized. I'll just, I'll talk to Nancy for a few minutes and then she points me in the right direction. That's all there is to it. Real simple. I don't have to wait on 10 people to say it's okay. Okay, community banks and credit unions use their intimate knowledge in the area to make loan decisions as well. So their insight into local market conditions can lead to approval of small business loans that a national bank may not think is good enough for them. They may not value it. According to the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, the largest 20 banks in the country commit only 18% of their commercial loans to small businesses. Now that's pitiful. It really is. Okay, now let's talk about relationship-based banking. As a local business owner, you're known throughout the community, right? So small banks factor what they know about your character and personal qualifications into loan decisions rather than just punching a credit score into an automated application. I like that, don't you? It's a lot easier. Faster decisions. I don't have to wait forever to get a decision made. When you have broken equipment, your business shouldn't have to suffer while you wait for a loan, right? You own a printing company, let's say. Something happens to the printing press. I've got to wait on a huge company to go down the chain of command or go up the chain of command to make a decision on me getting another one? Nah, not with a small bank. You don't have to wait forever. Local banks and credit unions make their decisions in-house with less red tapes and hoops for you to jump through. I like that. Faster loan decisions keep your business on track and turning a profit. What I hate is the bigger companies. First of all, if you can get somebody who speaks English in your area to actually answer the phone and without having to press one for this, two for that, press one for that. And it's normally not going to be anything that I'm after. I may just need to get something notarized or something. And it says press one for this, press two for that, three for this. It goes all the way down the line. I've got to listen to all of that so that I can possibly make a decision on who I need to talk with and get something handled in a timely manner. No, I call Liberty Bank 256-659-2175. Nancy answers. I just tell her what I need and I'm done. That's cool. I really like that. Faster decisions. Okay, local banks and credit unions make their divisions in-house, those decisions. So there's less red tape and hoops for you to jump through. So faster loan decisions to keep your business on track and turning a profit. That's what it's all about. Local connections. Your community bank and business banker are a valuable source for networking opportunities for small businesses. Connect with local suppliers, service providers, and potential clients. These contacts fuel the local economy and grow small businesses just like mine and yours. Yeah, they do. Collaborative lending. Small banks and credit unions may not have the lending power of mega banks, but they know how to work as a team. Isn't that what it's all about? Teamwork. Through the collaborative credit lending process, community banks join together to offer loans to more small businesses. This networking of community banks allows them to serve more members of their community, and it helps you to get the funds you need to keep your business thriving, including, those small business loans that were out from the SBA loan. You remember all that stuff was going on when COVID hit? These folks were able to help. For real estate purchases, equipment, working capital, debt refinancing, and more. Local economies benefit from banking locally. Let me talk one more thing, though, about why I like using Liberty Bank, a small bank, for my business. First of all, there's a board of directors. All the board of directors are in your area, okay? They have monthly meetings. They talk about what's happening in the community, how they can help the community grow. And don't you know that encourages growth? That helps you if you ever need a business loan. Most certainly does. Okay, let's see. Let's talk about local economies benefit from banking locally. Many community banks and credit unions have kept the doors open even if a national bank moves into town. I've seen it happen. They never crush them. You know why? Because I go to my small bank where they know my name and I'm not some number somewhere. I don't have to wait on 50 people to help me make a decision to get a loan or to open up a bank account. None of that stuff. They've continued to serve the people and businesses in their local communities by providing personalized service, flexible loan terms, and lower fees. According to the Independent Community Bankers of America, despite the huge number of mega bank branches across the countries, community banks still provide nearly 50% of small business loans. Isn't that something? Now, in rural areas like what I live in, the impact of community banks and credit unions is even greater as they provide 82% of national agricultural loans. That helps keeping our farmers in business. That's money directly benefiting your community. So large banks send your money out to branches in other states and across the country in the form of loans and investments. Now, when you bank locally, your community bank is channeling your money back into your neighborhood. Your money is invested locally, growing your local economy and providing loans to your neighbors. Okay, not only is your neighborhood bank putting money back into the community with small business loans, they also help pay your neighbor's salary. Yeah, listen to this. According to the Independent Community Bankers of America, community banks employ over 765,000 Americans. Yeah, they do. While big banks keep the majority of their upper level staff working far off corporate headquarters. Yeah. Community bank CEOs and other top staff work in main offices located in your community. From the highest level staff all the way down the ladder, community banks and credit unions are fully investigated in the local communities that they serve. Banking policies are made by the people who live in your community, and they know it best. They've got the board of directors. The board of directors here are not somewhere in Japan. I mean, they're right here in this community where I live. Community bank and credit union profits stay local. Money's earned that's funneled right back into the community by means of salaries, investments, capital improvements, and discounted services. Let me tell you what happened here with Liberty Bank. They had an old bank, okay, and so they built a new bank a few years ago. And so what happened with this older bank, it's just sitting there. It's just growing dust. So they went on ahead and gave it to the town of Geraldine, Alabama. And so Geraldine, Alabama is going to benefit from that because we have a new doctor in town and she has outgrown her space. And guess who's going into that old bank building? She is. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, that's some really good stuff. Community banks know that their success is tied to the health of the local community. So by banking locally, you're helping your neighbors and local businesses thrive. Let's keep up with what time it is. How to choose a local bank. Let's think about that for a minute. Now you know why local banking is the smartest choice for your family, your business, your community. The only question left is, how do I choose? Community banks and credit unions both make great financial partners. Compared to mega banks, local institutions offer lower fees, more free accounts, relationship banking, based banking, and personalized products and services. So, when you're ready to make that switch to the local bank, you want to visit the credit unions and the community banks in your neighborhood. Your money is protected at both institutions with insurance of $250,000 per account. Both local banks and credit unions have your community's best interest at heart. Local banks are for-profit business, okay? So what that means is profits make their way back into the community through employee salaries and local spending. No membership is required to bank here. Many banks boast newer technology and also mobile services than credit unions. But of course, varies by specific institution. Credit unions are nonprofit organizations. And profits earned by credit unions are returned to members in the form of reduced loan rates, fewer fees, and other perks like surcharge, free ATM usage. Credit unions are financial cooperatives that exist to serve a specific community of people, and you must be a member. Each credit union is different, and memberships can be determined by qualifications such as an employer, a school, or church affiliations. Credit unions may differ, lower fees, and higher interest rates on their deposited accounts than banks, but those decisions do vary by location. My name is Donna Feazell, and I am your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundance TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Make sure you check out Liberty Bank, okay? LibertyBankAL.com, located right here in Geraldine, Alabama. Other locations all around Alabama. You can call them at 256-659-2175. That's 256-659-2175. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with you soon with another awesome show. Bye-bye.